Hi everyone, can you even believe it's that time of year already? Every single year I sit down and do a best of beauty series where I talk about my top products from the year. I like to split these videos up into categories, and in previous years I've done high-end drugstore and then hair, skin, and nails. This year I really wanted to separate them into more condensed episodes so that I can really spend time talking about each product and it won't be such a long video, and that way you can see what I've been loving per category in what I feel like is a better way. So today we're going to be talking about my favorite picks for the drugstore face category. So we're starting off with drugstore. I cannot even wait. As I make these episodes and as they go live, I'll be sure to put them in a playlist so that you don't miss an episode, so you can see all the products that I feel like were game changers for the year 2022. So let's just get right into it. We're going to start off with a primer that I absolutely fell in love with. This is the NYX Plump Right Back primer. I'm not a humongous primer person, but this one I used for a good chunk of the year. I love the texture of this. It has like almost a gel serum-y kind of consistency, but it's not very silicone-y, which I actually really like. So you get that smoothing effect, but it doesn't feel like super blurring on the skin. It actually feels more hydrating, but I feel like it actually makes a difference in my makeup and the way that it wears, the way that it applies. So I love this stuff, and it was one of my top primers of the year in general, both high-end and drugstore included. I kept it on my desk for months and used it every single day, so really enjoyed this. This next product I feel like took the world by storm when it launched, and that is this right here, the e.l.f. Halo Glow Liquid Filter. This is supposed to be a dupe for the Charlotte Tilbury Hollywood Flawless Filter, and I definitely feel like it is a perfect dupe. I actually found myself using this one more than the Charlotte Tilbury one right now, probably because I have more product in this one and it's more affordable, so I feel like I can really go ham with it. This is the shade Fair 1. It comes in several different shades, but I just love how this can be used, just like the Charlotte Tilbury one, underneath makeup to just add a gorgeous boost of radiance to the skin. As you can see, as I'm blending it out, this is not a glittery type of product, so you're just gonna get a very healthy, lit from within type of a glow. You can use this underneath makeup. You can use it mixed into foundation. You can also use it on top of your foundation as highlighter. For me personally, I tend to use it underneath my foundation as a primer type product. But this definitely needed a hefty shout out this year because it is just so good. I realized as I was pulling products for this video that I didn't try a new foundation that I was head over heels for when it came to the drugstore. And you'll see why. My top foundation is a high-end foundation from this year, so stay tuned for that video. But when it came to drugstore foundations, I'm gonna just re-mention the two that stuck with me through the year. I normally try not to repeat products, but it just happened to be that way this year, so I'm going to anyway because I genuinely use these nonstop. I continued to use them throughout the year, and I did actually mention both of these in my last year's Best of Beauty Awards. Not me titling my own videos like they're an Allure award-winning thing, okay. But I love these two foundations. The first one is the Bourjois Healthy Mix Foundation. I've got this all over the skin. I actually mixed two foundations, the ones I'm gonna share with you, and that's what I've got all over, but this is just such a good foundation. It's a great everyday foundation. It really truly makes your skin look and feel so healthy. I couldn't get enough of it again this year, and the same thing goes for the L'Oreal True Match Nude Tinted Serum. These were by far my top used drugstore formulas this year. I used them nonstop. I absolutely love them. This is gorgeous. This is another great everyday type of foundation. I will say the Bourjois one you can wear with more glamorous makeup looks and it doesn't look weird, if that makes sense. You know how sometimes skin tints don't always lend themselves to full glam looks? It's more of an everyday thing. This one I feel like you can build up and get there if you want to. But yeah, I mixed both of them today so you can see how it looks all over the skin. I think these both make my skin look so healthy. They both have like skincare properties in them as well, which is amazing. So I'm obsessed with those still, and I had to mention them because I've been using them nonstop. This is another product that I mentioned in my last year's drugstore favorites, but I had to mention it again because it was my #1 concealer period throughout the entire year, high-end and drugstore included. I'm sure you guys know which one I'm going to talk about, but it deserves another moment in this video because it truly was the best of 2022. Genuinely, I used it longer this year than I did last year because I think this launched toward the end of the year last year. Anyway, it's the NYX Bear With Me Concealer Serum. I am obsessed with this stuff. This was my top concealer in my entire collection this year, so I had to mention it again. It's absolutely beautiful. I love how it looks underneath the eyes. It gives just the right amount of coverage. It's hydrating. It looks good all day. It looks high-end to me, which I love, and I can't say enough good things about this, so I had to make sure to give this a hefty shout out in this video because it deserves one, and it truly is my #1 used concealer out of everything that I own, which is really saying something, and I love that it's from the drugstore. That just makes it that much better. Okay, this is more of a recent find, but ever since I found it, I have not put it down, so I do feel like it deserves a little moment in this video. This is a loose powder from Hailey's Beauty. This is their Retouch Soft Focus Setting Powder. It is phenomenal. I will say I used, for the majority of the year, some other products that I've talked about so many times before, like the Wet n Wild Photo Focus and the #7 loose powder and the RCMA one. Like, I really did reuse so many of my favorites from last year this year, but this is a new discovery of face powder that I feel like is absolutely beautiful. So high quality. It looks amazing all over the skin. It's what I'm wearing all over to set the face. So I wanted to throw this in here as well. Even though it is newer to me, I genuinely have not put this down since trying it. And so I definitely think it was worth mentioning and worth saying, like, this is one of the best powders that I tried this year. It's beautiful. I love it. I recently tried MOIRA and fell in love with the Set and Correct finishing powder. This is like a brightening powder. It's great for the T-zone. I have this underneath the eyes to just kind of brighten a little bit. A little goes a long way, and I really do like how you can kind of customize what finish you get just based off of the color. So you can swirl them all together to get a nice brightening effect underneath the eyes, or you can dip them into certain colors, like if you just want the lavender and the white shade right here for an extra boost of brightening, you can do that. But this is just one of my go-to powders right now, and it has been for months now, and it's just so beautiful. So I really wanted to make sure to mention this as well. I cannot wait to try more from MOIRA. I've had a cart full for a long time. I need to just buy everything and try some more things. So if there's other products from MOIRA, especially in complexion, because I feel like I didn't really get to dabble into too many MOIRA complexion products this year, but if there's anything complexion from MOIRA that you think I should try, let me know in the comments, because this is so good. Guys, I think the year 2022 for me was the year of bronzers, because you will be alarmed at how many bronzers I fell in love with in the affordable category, and also you'll see how many I loved that are high-end as well in a couple episodes. I think my #1 bronzer from the drugstore has to be this L'Oreal, hello, there it is, this L'Oreal Infallible Fresh Wear Bronzer. Mine is in the shade 200 Fair. This is such a beautiful drugstore bronzer. It is such a high-end feeling formula that blends onto the skin so seamlessly, and I love the tone and undertone of this. It also comes in tons of shades, which is amazing. It's one of the best drugstore bronzers I've ever tried, period. So I was really happy to have discovered and fallen in love with this year. Another one that really kind of took me by surprise, but I couldn't put down, was this one from ColourPop. This is actually their Super Shock bronzer in the shade Get Sandy. I just dip my brush directly into here and just kind of press it over top of the skin, even if I've set my entire face with powder, which is what I usually do. I find that this blends out so beautifully and just looks airbrushed almost. You can't really mess up with this formula, which is shocking, because with the Super Shock formula, it's almost like a putty, and so you would think that it would grab or maybe get patchy, but it doesn't at all. It's actually a beautiful formula that really blends out nicely, so I fell in love with that one as well. I also loved this ColourPop Avila Beach Bronzer. This is one of their matte bronzers that launched this year. It's so nice. It definitely has a little bit more of a warm undertone, but it's not too warm to where it would look orangey on me. I'm actually wearing this all over the skin. I layered the ColourPop Super Shock with this one all over. So this is what, you know, is giving me that dimension and warmth on the skin. It's so beautiful. Again, blends like a dream. Such a good formula from ColourPop. This is also a more recent find for me, but I had to put it in here because I have not put it down. This is from Hailey's Beauty as well. My goodness, my camera doesn't want to focus. Hello? Please. Here it is from Hailey's Beauty. This is the Resculpt Smoothing Contour Powder, and it is beautiful. I have mine in the shade Light. I used it just a little bit to kind of sculpt the highest points of the cheekbone today. I love this as a contour powder. This has a more cool undertone, so it really is great for sculpting. Like, that's exactly what it is. It's not gonna give you tons and tons of warmth, but it's not so cool toned to where it looks gray on me, which I absolutely love. So wanted to throw this in here as well. Plus the packaging is to die for. I think it's so stunning and feels so luxurious, and it's just amazing. So this year was all about bronzers for me, folks. I actually discovered this blush because of you guys, and that is the Essence The Blush, specifically in the shade Befitting. This is something that was suggested in a video where I tried out your recommendations. I can't remember which one it was. But anyway, this blush is so affordable and I can't believe how beautiful it is. This is the blush that I'm wearing on my skin right now and it's just so stunning. I love how it's a matte formula. I don't think it has a sheen to it. No, it's pretty matte. And the color is so beautiful. It's very pigmented. I can't get over how affordable it is and how gorgeous it is on the skin. It feels like a high-end blush to me, and thanks to you guys, it is now a favorite of mine from the year. A product that I needed to give another shout out, even though I did mention this one in my last year's video as well. I'm telling you, I just kept reusing so many of my favorites into this year when it came to drugstore products, especially since I got pregnant earlier this year. And so when I was feeling really nauseous in my first trimester, I didn't leave the house. So I wasn't really going and sifting through, you know, the drugstore aisles as much as I usually did. So I feel like I didn't discover new things that much, but I like used the classics that I loved in 2021 and it kind of like carried over. Same thing with this. This was my favorite summer blush again this year. It's from Milani. This is the Rose Powder Blush in the shade Coral Cove specifically. Oh my gosh, I love this. This shade in the summertime is to die for. I was reaching for this in the summer over all of my high-end blushes and I own so many blushes, you guys, it's actually insane. There's something about the tone and undertone of this that I just loved and still love, obviously, but it's so good on like the apples of the cheeks. It's a great layering blush if you want just a little hint of something more on the cheeks, but you don't want it to be overpowering. This is a great way to like add that pop more of color without overdoing it if you layer a more neutral blush on the sides of the face. That's what I did a lot with this as well. So wanted to mention that again. I also got a ton of use out of this blush. I can't remember if I've talked about it in previous Best of Beauty videos. I don't know, but I used it a ton again this year. This is from Milani and it's their baked blush in the shade Dolce Pink. It actually looks pretty chunky and glittery when you swatch it, and when it goes on initially, it kind of is like more of a glittery blush, which is not something that I normally reach for, but if you just take the right amount and just swirl it on the apples of the cheeks, it really makes such a beautiful, healthy glow to the skin. It's especially beautiful for special occasions, and I found myself using this if I was gonna be in pictures, like if anyone was getting married, I would pop this on the apples of the cheeks, and there's just something about it that looks really fresh and healthy in photos. So I wanted to make sure to mention that again because I did use this like crazy this year as well. I have one highlighter to talk about from the drugstore. Again, I feel like I reused a lot of highlighters, especially like the Flower Beauty one I used a lot, the Essence one, like just classics I just dipped back into this year. But a newer one to me that I cannot get enough of, and it's what I'm wearing on the skin. This looks so beautiful. The way it melts into the skin, I can't get over. This is also a newer find for me, but I'm so happy that I tried it out. It's one of their new shades. I feel like it came in their holiday collection, so I don't know if this shade is limited edition. Regardless, this formula is phenomenal, and I can't wait to buy more. This is from JCat. It's the You Glow Girl Baked Highlighter in the shade Seaside Frost, and it's just phenomenal. There's something about a baked highlighter that I've always loved. Just the way that it's able to melt into the skin and just, it doesn't look chunky or glittery. It's so pretty. Like it looks like a lit from within situation on the cheeks, but it's like not a cream, so it's more long lasting. I'm in love with it. It's so beautiful. Okay, last but not least, I debated whether or not I should throw this in here because it's also another repeat thing from last year, but these were by far my most loved and most used brushes of the year. I use these all year long again. The Morphe and Ariel brush collection. I'm not gonna spend too much time on this because I already talked about it last year, but these are absolutely phenomenal. The shapes of these, the texture of these, the way that they apply makeup, the way that they perform, I'm just beyond in love with again. And they actually recently launched smaller versions of the set. So it used to be that you could only buy the eye set or the full set. Now they have a face set and a little eye set, and the sponge they sell separately. So I'll have all of those linked down below for you guys, but the A14 brush is worth picking up. So if this comes in the face set, which I think it does, and you already have the eye brushes, maybe get the face set so that you can have this brush alone because it's so worth it. But I had to give a shout out again because these are like my favorite makeup brushes, and they happen to be from Morphe, which is so great because they're so affordable. So many makeup brushes are not nearly as affordable, and I just don't feel like they're as good as those. So I wanted to make sure to mention that again as well. So those are all the things that I feel like were worth mentioning, whether it was brand new products or something worth mentioning again that I couldn't stop using this year in the drugstore face category. I hope you guys enjoyed hearing what my top picks were. as far as affordable face products go. I truly feel like these look so high-end, it's not even funny. Like, I'm obsessed with how my makeup looks right now, and it's all of these affordable products that I just talked about. In our next episode, we will be talking about the best drugstore eyes and lip products. So stay tuned for that because I've got some really, really exciting finds that I am obsessed with. So that episode will be coming soon. I hope you guys enjoyed hearing my favorites. Everything will be listed and linked in the description box down below for you guys. If you're interested in trying any of these things, I would love to hear from you guys in the comments as always. What is your favorite thing that you discovered this year in the drugstore face category? Do you have a favorite foundation, primer, concealer, powder, blush, bronzer? You tell me. I would love to hear if there's anything that you're like, this is the best. This was my favorite this year. Tell me in the comments down below because I would love to try more from the drugstore, and I'm definitely going to make sure to hopefully get out to Walmart a little bit more next year and hopefully discover some new drugstore gems in the year to come. But if there's anything you think I should check out, be sure to tell me in the comments down below. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. I cannot wait to share more of my best of year favorites with you. So stay tuned for all those episodes coming up very, very soon. I love you all so much. I hope you all have an amazing day wherever you are, and I will see you in my next video. Love you. Bye.